Hey everyone, welcome back to the Forge. Real quick note before we get started on today's project, which is a push blade. We just had our first video go over 100 likes and it means a lot. So thanks for supporting the channel and watching the videos. I really want to keep doing these projects and that just helps me stay motivated. So this project is going to be made out of one of my favorite materials, leaf spring. It's readily available and it's pretty tough stuff. But before you go out and do something crazy and try to make this thing, make sure you check your local laws, because in some areas these types of weapons are actually illegal. I live in Texas though, so I could have a tank in my front yard and no one would really care. But wherever you are, you might run into some trouble. So just make sure you check and be safe. So as we're forging, you can see we're getting the dreaded fish lips again. That's okay though. You'll see here in a second, I actually ended up taking some material off of this blade because it ended up being way too much material. And that's fine. If you start with more material than you think you need, you can always take some away. You can't always add some too. So just be careful with that, and you should be fine. So when it comes to the handle, I had a lot of different ideas. First I thought about doing some kind of like tape wrap, and then I thought no, and then I thought about doing like submerging the handle in epoxy so it covers all the way around and then sanding away whatever I didn't want. Wasn't really interested in that idea either. And I mean, there's the traditional handle too, but I ended up just going with the straight up one solid piece of metal. And that was because I knew I was going to be punching this into things, because that's what this type of blade is for. And another handle material might break or tear or whatever, and I just didn't want to deal with that. So I made it all out of metal. You can see me upsetting the metal here a little bit to make the handle thicker. Whatever you choose to do, there's a lot of options. Experiment with it, see what you like the most. So once you have the rough shape forged out, I went ahead and just grinded away some of the pieces that I didn't want. I find it to be a little bit more accurate at times. I'm still working on my own skills with certain things, but it's also just a lot faster. So there is that. And I'm kind of lazy sometimes, so. But you do it however you want. Just make sure that there is enough finger room here. Because if you don't, when you push that blade or punch that blade into something, it is going to tear your knuckles up. So I recently started doing this thing where instead of going through and hardening and tempering the metal, I did all the grinding beforehand. Because the other way is kind of silly. And I realized that. And you should learn from your mistakes. This way, I don't have to worry about ruining the temper, like you see on the blade already, those little scorch marks. That's okay, because we haven't hardened this yet. So, funny thing about this, see, I actually had to do this 3 times for the hardening. The first 2 didn't work, this is the second one, and I didn't end up getting any footage of the third, so that's unfortunate. But you do want to harden your blade, or not, you know, do whatever you want. Now we're back to ye old oven for 2 cycles of 400 degrees for an hour each with cool down time in between. And I guess Beasts is gonna guard it. There ain't nothing in there for you, little buddy. Alright, once you're done with that, it's just basically clean up. Just be careful not to ruin your temper since you already went through that process. Usually having a bucket of water nearby is good for this, and you just dip it every 10-15 seconds. Or you can not do that. Again, up to you. So I ended up testing this against about an 1/8 inch thick mild steel plate, and no damage was actually done to the blade. So tempering and hardening worked great. And when I lift this up, you can actually see some light through the other side. Okay, guys and gals, that's the end of the video. Hope to see you back in the shop next time. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and have a good day.